Okay. Shall we start with the exercise?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, just whatever comes to your mind, you just note down, and then you try to write a program. So just try. So because it's a maybe it's a first program, you won't like you'll get struck and things like that. I want you to talk through it, and then I'll help you to address it, how to think about and things like that. Okay, so don't be afraid to start writing a program. So it will be easy. A couple of sessions, you'll get used to that. Okay. Yeah, please try to do that. So I'll keep a timer. Um, just copy this and I'll paste this so that you can take a look in case you need. Anyways, I'll show this slide and I'll just put a timer. Not here. Just 10 minutes. Okay. I kept that timer and just try it. Just try and just note down your problems. Let's go on mute. Okay. So, did you guys try? Okay. So, let us try that out. Did you guys try? What are the issues that you're facing?
Tried, it is saying object not found.
Good. Yeah. Can you paste the program on chat?
I wrote very simply.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just give me this, and I'll just paste it somewhere here. Okay. Um, Okay. Actually, your thinking is right. So I'll just tell you how to go about these things. Can you just mute, please?
Yeah,
Respectfully.
yeah.
Okay. So what is happening here is okay. The idea is first you have to jot down things how to go about. So what you can do is first do not try to write the entire program. What you do is okay. First you have coins already. So first you have to think about how do you get all these coins in one by one. So when you have this pattern, then you kind of okay um, loop through coins. Okay, and next step is while looping through that, um, check if coin is 1, uh, add it to you can make one more step, add it to um, ledger sum, something like that, sum, and then same thing goes for other two as well. If coin is 2, then add to um, the other sum. So all these sums are actually now you require two different sums because you're counting two. Now you have, since we have three different types of coins, we need three different variables to hold that. So that is just nothing but this one. So what we did was in our paper we did this, right? So we wrote this. So number of ones is this, and twos is like this, and threes sorry, five are this. Okay. So similarly, so in our ledger we create a column or we create a variable on our paper, right? So similarly the same thing goes here. um, Check if coin is 5. So do not jump into program. So that is one of the mistakes that most of us do when we start programming. So first is until you get a hold. What is this? What is this? Okay. So uh, looping through the coins, and then what you do is you kind of get this logic right. So once you have this, next is how do you store this ledger sum. So in order to store this ledger sum, you need some variable. So that variable is nothing but your say um, count one rupee coin, something like that. So that this ledger holds 1 rupee coins. Similarly, these two ledgers hold 2 rupee coins, and this one holds 5 rupee coins. So these three things you require to store this sum of this. Okay. So then loop through this. So once you create this one, then you have to loop through this. So how do I loop through this? So in while writing program, just below your thinking. So this is your normal thinking, just human thinking. Just you are putting the steps one by one. That's all. Okay. The same thing. Then you can simulate that using a programming language. So loop through coins is nothing but for coin in coins. Okay, so you do not have to think about ending and beginning and ending conditions. So these are your coins. Coin is equal to is one of the mistakes. So you'll get used to that. So coin is equal to is why is that your that is why you are getting that object not found error. Okay, so that is one thing. And then once you have this logic, if check if coin is 2. So let us write for 2 for now, because I've just put that my thoughts as 2 first. So I'll just do if coin is equal to 2. Okay, then do what? Then count 2 is equal to. So in fact your statement plus plus is true in C, C++, and Java, but in Python there is no plus plus this one. So what you do is either you can do count is equal to plus is equal to your coin, or else for readability purpose you just use count is equal to count 2 plus your value of coin. Okay, so this is how you write for 2. The same thing holds good for 3 as well. So sorry, 1 and 3, 1 and 5. Okay, this is, there is no 3 rupees coin. Okay, so copy this and then paste this here. Just change this 1 and change this ledger, because we want this coins to be in 1, right? Then 1, and then again take this, do it for 5 as well. If coin is equal to 5, then store this into the 5 ledger. Okay. So this is how you kind of count each one of them. And then what you do is, so you add this logic. So now you're what you're trying to do is, from your normal thoughts, that is human thoughts, you are conveying that to the computer using these keywords and whatever we learned so far. So this is the one in green is your thoughts. So step by step thinking, and then you are just making that so that computer can understand that. So once you have this, so any doubts here?
No.
Okay, thanks. Okay, then what you do is you just print this ledger. So print is once is equal to. So print is just in C, C++, we use C out and C in and all these things, and percentage D. In Python it already knows what type of object it is, and it has a way to print it without thinking much. So you just print the give the object, it will take care of printing. So I'll just do count of 1. Similarly I'll do count of 2 and 5. 2, I'll change this count of 2, and I'll change this to 5 and 5. So I'll just comment out all of this. So this is actually the current correct way of thinking. So that is good. In fact in the first attempt it is I appreciate that. Where is commenting comment, add line comment. All this comment got commented. Okay, so some of the visible problems is that you missed an equal to here, and then there is this is correct. Good, this is correct. And then print is actually p is small, so take care of that. And then okay, rest everything is fine. And also you missed for loop, so because you did not think through one by one. So but it is a great attempt. Okay. So let us try to execute this. So if you look at this, now we successfully executed this. So our number of ones is 3, 1, 2, and 3. Number of twos are 6, 1, 2. Where is 6? Okay, because it's a sum of these coins. 1, 2, and 3. 2 into 3, 6. 3 coins, and this is 10. So this is how you kind of uh, think through, and then you put the code. So this is actually in our industry or in our teams and work, day-to-day work. So one of the things that we miss is that we do not think we know the solution, but we won't be able to express it because we do not write the pseudocode, or we don't jot down the thoughts. Once you jot down the thoughts, and then we can easily convert that into the um, into the into the program, right? So that is about how to think about, and
We can,
yeah.
yeah, we can use else if also here, right? Yeah, else.
Sorry.
We can use
Yeah,
else
yes,
if
yes, yes, yes,
instead of
yes, yes,
multiple
yes.
if statements.
Correct. You can use else if as well. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit different from C, right?
Yeah. You'll get
L
used to that. So in C, it's just uh, I mean, logic wise, it's the same thing, but
yes, yes.
you don't have this semicolons, and you
Yeah,
do not have this flower
yeah.
brackets and things like that. So it will take some time to get used to that. So yeah. So I have, I'm able to relate to C and all these languages because I have worked on all these languages, C, C++, and then I have worked on assembly level language, and also Java, and a lot of shell and all these languages. So there are like the advantage of Python is that it is easily readable, and there is nothing much hidden when you read the code. So that is you do not have to think about memory as well. So that is one of the advantages. So you'll get used to that. So don't worry. Okay. So this is how you think through, and you write down. So I hope it was um, okay. And if no questions, we'll just move to the next concept. Okay, so we'll learn about functions and scope of variables. So it's a small concept. In fact, I used to tell a big story about this, but I'll just cut short that. So um, so now you have these coins. Okay, so in order to learn about functions, so now we learned. I'll just clear this. Before that, okay, I'll just save this so that I can share with you guys, and it becomes okay. So let us get started with functions. So what we did currently is that we learnt about for loop. For loop is any loop is basically executing the statements repetitively. So repetition is nothing but loops. Okay. So similarly, what it does is, what it helps us to do is that it helps us to save a lot of lines of code, and then we can simulate in a loop. Similarly, the advantages of functions is that you can take all these statements that you can write, say statement 1, statement 2, and statement 3, something like that. So you can put a lot of statements, um, and you can make this as one block of code, and this block of code can be reused in many places. Okay, so imagine that now you are in a class, maybe in a primary school. So you have this teacher asks you to get these piggy banks, and try to collect all the coins and count these coins. So what you do is, if every child has to count the coins, so now it is possible that some children that they cannot count these coins properly, or maybe they get stuck and things like that. These are nothing but technically speaking, these are bugs. So if maybe two, they cannot differentiate between 2 and 5 because it looks similar but ulta. So maybe children just count 2 as 5 or 5 as 2 or something like that. So the sum will be something different. So these kind of issues are bugs. So what happens is, if there are like 20 students in the class, and then everyone counts it, so counts their own piggy banks, and if teacher verifies again, so there will be a lot of differences. That means maybe in 20 students, 10 people have counted it wrongly because of some reason, and teacher thinks that okay, now okay, the steps are same thing. In fact, you open the box, and then you list down the coins, and then you count it one by one and put it in the ledger. This is the step, but everyone knows the steps, but they are doing something wrong. So in such cases, what teacher tells is, okay, what I'll do is I'll write a function, and then I'll give you that function. You use that function so that you do not think about how this works internally. And that means you do not have to think about how the ledger works. You do not have to write down all these numbers separately and counting and stuff like that. So what you do is, you just give me the box. So and then I will give you the function. You pass this box into this function, so that will automatically count and give you the sum. So what is happening is, so if every student has to write code for counting, so it will lead to duplication of 20 times same logic. Okay, so if 20 out of 20 times, if 10 has bugs, so if you have to fix bugs, so you have to make changes at 10 places. Sorry, 10 places. So what is happening? One thing, there is a chaos, which means it is not maintainable. So it leads to maintenance problem. Right. So this is one thing, and then second thing is that you can also not think about. That means you do not have to think about how the logic works inside. So you can abstract that. So when you write functions, you just use it as an interface, and you just pass the parameters and then get the job done. So second thing is that use it as a library. Third thing is your duplication of bugs and this. Okay, one is duplication of code. I'll write it as duplication of code. Third thing is maintenance. So now imagine that there is a bug in teacher's code. Maybe it is ignoring 1 rupee coins or something like that. So if she has to fix that bug, now there is only one place she has to fix bug. And as in previous example, we saw that there are 10 places to fix the bug. So now you fix that bug in one place, and then run it again. So all the sum will be again, it's the same thing. All right. So what is the advantages of having a function? Having a function is, one thing is, you do not have to write it again. That means you reuse the code. The second thing is, you can debug and fix it at one place, and of course there is a less number of lines of code. Just imagine that 20 kids are like, if they have to implement it, so 20 kids are writing maybe 10 lines of code, so it is like 200 lines of codes, and then maintainability becomes a chaos. So if you write it in function, you avoid all these sort of problems, and you have one place to do the things. Okay, so what we'll do is, I'll just show you the function definition here. I mean the structure of the function. So function has a name. So I'll just get into drawing mode. So this is your, just like our variables. This is the, I'll change the color. So this is your user defined just like a variable. So this is your name, function name, sorry, name, and def is a keyword. So this is a keyword. So how does how does C++ and other languages come to know about whether it's a function or not? It looks at the written type of function, and it has a structure, a name, and then braces and things like that. So it recognizes it. That's called as function signature. It looks at the signature and then it finds out. Similarly, in Python, we can tell that this particular variable or the name is meant to be used as function by using def. Def is nothing but definition. So there is a shortcut for definition, and then it followed by these parentheses, and if it is empty it takes no parameters inside. If it is if it has some arguments, of course you can pass multiple arguments, we'll see that in a while. So you can pass arguments, and then take those arguments, and then your logic you can write it here in the yellow box. And then this part, which is here mentioned as doc string. So this is called as doc string. Doc string is nothing but documentation string. Python has a way to generate. There are several libraries where you can write functions, and you can generate the documentation automatically. In fact, if you just see the dot double underscore dot double underscore, then you will see the documentation. Yesterday we did that for one of the functions. So that is where if you write this doc string, it will be visible as a documentation for other users. Okay. So, and it can return value, and this is not a mandatory thing in Python like in C or C++, because if you do not return anything, compiler will complain of saying that you're trying to return function signature has void or something like that, but you're not returning anything. So that's a compilation error. But in Python, you do not have to return anything. By default, it returns something called as none. Okay. This none is actually not equal to your null in C++, which is actually points to address location 0. So none is an object which tells that it is similar to null. So it just returns none. So none is an object in Python, so it doesn't have any functionality and stuff like that. Okay, so if you can either write or return some variable or some data type, or if you do not write it, by default it returns none. None is one of the data types. Okay, in Python. Okay. So that is about how you define a function. What is the structure of the function? As you know that whenever we see this column, there is a block starting here. So this is the block, and this is an internal block for statement. This is an internal block for if statement. That means we have like 1, 2, and 3 blocks. So different blocks, nested blocks. All right. So you can repeat that blocks any number of times. In fact, you can have for loops inside, nested for loops, and stuff like that. Okay. So it doesn't matter how many loops or how many if conditions you're making inside inside any block. Okay. So this is how a function looks. So basic thing is to remember, def tells that this is going to be as functions, and there is arguments, and you can either return something or not return something. Okay. So this is the structure, and then how do you call it? Just like any other languages, you call that you have your function variable name. So you take that and you pass some data into that. So that data should be matching. Like in C++, it's like if you have a function variables or function parameters as integers, you cannot pass strings. But here, since these data types are recognized in the runtime, it doesn't matter if it is list is expected, but you are sending a string or anything like that. You can send anything, but your code will start complaining of some errors. Okay, that depends on your logic. So you do not have. So one of the things that you have to remember in Python is that at any given point of time, you cannot recognize what sort of variable it is, whether it's a list or set or things like that. So that is why when writing program, you should know what is the data coming in and what is that you are processing. All right. So this is how you call. So just call the function, and then if it returns something, you can collect that using a variable, or if you just call, so it just executes this and comes out of the program. All right. So this is how the function looks. This is the structure of function. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go to our code, and so let us take this code we just wrote, and we will just put this in a function. Okay, so imagine that one person is one child has written this. Now there are a lot of bugs, so now a teacher thinks that okay, I need to make a function. So what she does is, so you can do something like def count coins, okay, something like this. Okay, and then this is your column, and this is optional docstring. You can tell that this function sums up coins in double, something like that. Okay, some documentation, this is optional. If you do not have this, that's just fine as well. So this string, this is called as a doc string, and you can use some people use this for multiple line comments, because in Python comments are starting by any line which starts with or if it any string which starts with hash, it is considered as comment. And these are actually strings, but the difference is that the compiler or the interpreter won't remove these lines, so it will remove all the lines which are starting with hash, but it won't remove, but it won't process it either. So this is just a multi-line string. All right, so normal strings are like this. So these are normal strings, but you cannot use new line here. Okay, it will complain that there is no string is not ended or something like that, so there is an error. So this you can use new lines here in this type of there are 3 quotes. In fact, you can use double quotes as well, but use single quotes so that it is not confusing. So this is the multi-line string which can be used as doc string. All right, this is doc string, just remember that. And then you can put your logic here. So what I'll do is I'll take this variable outside, okay, because this is going to be a variable here. And then I'm going to indent this, all of this. So there are how many lines? There are about 28 lines of code. So I'm going to take okay, all of these are indented now. So you can, if you are using an editor, you can see this light line here, so it tells what is the indentation. So this is the indentation. So I just moved everything in to a newer indentation. So after doing this, how do you call this? All right, so I'll just move this as well. So I'm not returning anything here as of now, so I'll write a return statement. Return I need in fact, you can return one number, or the specialty of in Python is that you can return multiple values, but it goes as a tuple. So let us try to return count 1, count 2, and count 5. Okay, so this is slightly different from C++ ideologies, because if you want to pass multiple returns multiple values, you have to put it in a structure or a class or something like that, and you have to return. But in Python, so this is automatically taken care. You can return multiple values, but when you're receiving it, it comes as a tuple. So let us look at that. So what I'll do is I'll just call this count coins. So this is how you can invoke the function. Okay, so this function takes parameter as coins. So I can either you can use the same variable name or different variable name for this. So I can either pass, in fact I can simply pass this list as well. Okay. Or I can make a variable here as well, x is equal to something like this, and I can pass that x as well. So it's the same thing, right? So it creates some temporary variable and passes through that. It's just an object for Python, right? So let me just comment this. So imagine that this function is being used by students. Now student 1 calls this. This is his dabba, that is a coin dabba. So he has this many coins and he counts this. So he has to collect this sum. So sum is equal to something. So you can print my sum is sum. So if you do not have any quotes, it looks for a variable. So quotes is just a string, so it prints as is. So if you want to print any variable, just print that variable without quotes. So now let us look at the execution. I hope this works. Okay, good. Okay, great. So you can see that my sum has returned 3 values here, and 3 values are now coming in these brackets. So once you see these brackets, what is this? What does this mean? It means as a tuple. All right. So this is a tuple or tuple. So you can take this, and in fact, sum of 0. Sorry, sum of that is index and sum is equal to 2, and we can do this as well. So that is how you access the tuple, right? So these are this one. So in fact you can sum it up just like these 3 values. Just use plus and just sum it up. So it gives some value. Okay. So that is about the function of structure and how you have to call. So now it doesn't matter. So now the students need not to worry about the how to count the coins. They just use this, and then they can pass their own values and then keep calling it and then keep getting the values. So if there is any bug, so there is only one place you have to fix, so that is inside this function. All right. So that is about functions. So these functions are also called as coroutines, because it's like it takes a branching from normal branching, in the sense it's a subroutine, not coroutine, sorry. So subroutine is nothing but you have a normal course of action, and then you take a deviation and return it from there. For example, you are going on a highway, and you want to have lunch, so you stop there and you have lunch, and again you join back to the highway and start moving ahead. So that is how the coroutines work. So it has a lot of statements in this list of statements. So this is your highway, so these are your statements x 35, 36, 37, 38 lines, these lines. So it looks at this. Now it's like your highway Java. So it looks at this and it goes to this and again starts executing the statements. That means you are ordering the food and stuff like that. And once you are done with that, you return it. Return in the sense you just pay the bill and come out, and then you join back the normal course of routine. So this is your highway again. Okay. So that is why they are called as subroutines. Okay. So that is assembly level terminology, and then it is used in C, C++ as well. And these are called as functions. Alright. So that is about the basic things about functions. So there are several other things inside functions. For example, I'll show you some of the things. Okay. So this is this is the same thing. I just wrote it here. Okay. So these are the students. So in fact you can pass some default arguments. Now you can call those functions without arguments as well, with arguments as well. So this is with default arguments. Default arguments in the sense, say for example, now you want to teacher wants to change this particular function so that it works for coins and notes as well. Sometimes mostly people do not keep the notes inside the piggy bank. So what she initially does is, okay, anyways people just use coins. So you can call this just by doing this. Okay. So if you So you can see that the parameter that we are passing to count coins and nodes is only one parameter. So this can take one parameter or two parameters. This is the this is two parameters. Okay. So how does this work is that, so if you pass one parameter, it goes and it maps to these coins, and since we have default arguments, so it just assigns a default value to that, and then just continues with the statement. If you pass some kind of value to that, so this gets mapped and overwritten by these default arguments, and then it supports both the variables. So that is how the default arguments work, right? So any questions so far in functions, conceptual or programmatical? Okay, we saw that return value and returning multiple values, and then there is also something called as args and uh, args and uh, quarks. I'll tell you what it is. So I'll just go here. Let us look at function here. Okay. So now you know the list of coins here. So this is a list of coins is actually fixed, so you do not uh, think about it much. So in some cases, so what happens is a number of arguments coming into the function are not known. In such cases, you can use something called as args. So this is just a variable. So if you use this star mark, and then you can call it like this. I'll just demo it. I'll just, change this variable name, because in the same file you cannot have two functions with the same name. It's not dependent on here. Okay, so what is happening here is let's just focus on args. So this is where I'm printing. So you can pass multiple arguments to the same function. Say for example, I can pass one argument. Now I am passing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 arguments. So and this can vary. So this is variable length arguments. So in order to denote that, you do star. So that is about args. So the args is used for variable length of arguments. So you can get used to normal usage of function, and then jump to this, and when you have a necessity. But just be aware of this, that you can whenever you see a star in a function, that means it is having it can contain multiple arguments which are not known at this point of time. Okay. So you can also do something called as double star, which is called as quarks. So the idea about quarks is that, so here when you send a lot of arguments, so you can just loop through this. It's just tuple. So once you have this print this, it is just a tuple, and you have this list of variables. But in quarks, when you use double star, in quarks you can also send something like this. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and things like that. So you can, it is a variable length of arguments, but you can actually map these variables to a certain key into the in a dictionary. So this, when you send these quarks like this, so this is the function definition. So if you see double star, and this is just a variable, you can use any other variable, and you can pass it like this. A belongs to 1 and B, A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2, and things like that. This will go internally as map, and then it becomes much easier for you to write code that, okay, if something like my map is equal to quarks, okay, you can do something like my map and get those values. Okay. So when you do this, you will get that particular variable, and you can operate based on your key values. So that are called as quarks. So this is args and this is quarks. So that is all about like functions. So like you have normal functions which can take either arguments or no arguments, and it can either return something or by default it returns none. And of course you have this variable length of arguments, and you have default arguments. So these are the various options, but try to write the functions, the normal functions, and then move to other things as well. Okay, so that is about it. And I wanted to cover one of the other concepts, which is called as scope of variables. It takes maybe less than 5 minutes. So scope of variables is that, so if now we have seen a lot of blocks. So we have seen, if you look at this program that we wrote. Okay. So how does Python know that there is a variable and what is the value of this? Is that it looks at local blocks. Okay, so if the variable is inside a certain block, so that means okay, it belongs to this block and it continues. Say for example, I'll just do if I try to print x. Okay. So I'll just try to print x. Is there any x already? X is already here. I'll just remove this. Okay, so I'm trying to print a variable which is not defined in this file at all, so it's not available at all. So what compiler or interpreter does is it tries to print this x, and then it tells that x is not defined. So how this error comes out, or how interpreter tries to look out for this particular variable is that, so it looks at the local scope, that is say for example this is one of the scopes. So it looks at this block. Oh, okay, it's not present. Let me look at bigger block. So it's not there in for loop as well. Then it will start looking at this entire function. Okay, it is not there in the entire function as well. Then it will start looking at the bigger scope, which is the entire file. So if it is not found in anywhere, and it will also one more step, it will go ahead and it will start looking at the keywords. So the keywords are inbuilt functions, or something like this. So these are inbuilt functions and keywords. So it looks at this. So it is none of this. So now it doesn't know how to resolve this particular variable and give this error. All right. So that is how the scope is defined for each of the variables. So in fact, when you start writing programs, you'll definitely face this error. Because maybe you will initialize it somewhere inside a certain block and try to access it outside or something like that. So expect this. So that is about the scope of variables. So it's a simple concept. So just to give you a real-time example, it's like okay, if you're searching for your say normal mobile, or even better, you have this pin to remove the SD card or this SIM card, right? You have that pin, so that which is given when you purchase a mobile, but most of us just forget that. Then when you start looking for that particular pin, what do? You first go and look at that old box, which is maybe you have stacked it up somewhere in your attic or somewhere in your storeroom. So you look at that box. So that pin is not there in that box. Then what you do is you look at the maybe in the cover that was delivered by Amazon or Flipkart or anywhere. So whether it is inside that, then you think that okay, I open this in my drawing room. So let me look at all the places in drawing room. So what you're trying to do is you are trying to increase the scope of your search a search zone. So first you search in the box, which is a smaller scope. Then you search in the drawing room. Then now all of your family members group up, and there are elders who are scolding you. You do not know how to take care of your things and stuff like that. Then everyone is searching for that particular pin. So what is that you are trying to do essentially is that in real time you are trying to increase the search scope as and when you do not get it. So once you say for example you already got that variable inside your box, that is a good case where you do not go further and search all your homes, because there is no point, because now you have resolved the search case. Right. So that is how we search. So that is how the even the interpreter searches: local scope, enclosing scope, and global scope, and then built-in variables. So that is how the search of variables goes into that. Okay. So that is about it. So I'll cover this reference and pass by value later in the next class, because it takes some sort of some more examples. Okay. So that is all I had. So what you do is I will give this assignment. Okay, take down this. I'll anyway send it. What you do is I'll update this code in GitHub and share you the link in Google Classroom. I guess you guys are in Google Classroom already. So upload that, and then what you do is you download the code, and uh, uh, first you do not download. What you do is you just keep it as a reference. You write this function, first the exercise that we did in the beginning, just count the coins and then put it into the function, and if you're stuck, just look up the function. All right. So that is what you need to do. So first write a function in a separate file and call it with two different inputs, and then put some documentation string. So you can I already showed you how to look at documentation string, but once you write this doc string, yeah, there's also a way to look at documentation string. So we'll do that. All right. So we will do this in the next class, and but you try it out. So I'll show you how it works. Okay. So try to keep a timer, because there is no point in spending too much time into the exercise. What you do is take 10 minutes and try to write a function, and then you refer it. So now you know the structure and stuff like that, and you can fix quickly. It's okay. Okay. Any questions? Sorry. Yeah. Any questions in function and things like that?
Digant, you have mentioned args and quarks. Are they keywords in Python?
No, they are not keywords. They are not keywords. They're just variables. In fact, you can take this. Make it something like still works. So they are not keywords. So it totally depends on this these stars, which are like multiplication marks or asterisk. Does that clear your doubt?
Yeah, cleared.
Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, guys. So I'll end up the wind up the session. So uh, what is today? Sunday. Okay. In next sessions will I'm just slowing down, because I just want I'm just changing the mode of this boot camp. Initially, I used to just teach and then give exercises outside, and then I wanted to like put put some time to allow hands on. So I'm putting like 10 minutes each hour or each sessions, so that we get things. So this was also supposed to be covered, but I didn't cover this because we'll go slow and write programs together, and then we will catch up faster. Okay, so that is the idea. Okay, so just try this, and in next class we will look at objects, what do they mean, and stuff like that. All right, so that will be much more interesting, but these are the things which you will be requiring to move ahead. Right, so please try this. I'll post the videos and assignments and quizzes on the Google Classroom, and also I'll send the assignments on not assignments, quizzes on WhatsApp, and it takes lesser than like 5 minutes to attend that, and it's not I will not evaluate or look at the this one, because quiz automatically gives you if you are gone wrong, and what is the problem and things like that. So it will give you a score as well, and it will give you the why it is wrong and why it is right and things like that. So you can attend the quizzes on your mobile as well. It does not require any computing stuff. So just go through the quizzes. So just and if you do not if you see some words which are not discussed in class but it is around the class, you just Google it and then attempt it. So that is like open book quizzes. You don't have to work like students. So you are free to look up Google. The only thing that I want to focus is that okay, you have to just touch that concept and understand that. So that's the motive of these quizzes and assignments. Okay, so that's all, guys. So thank you for attending. Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.